So here we are back in the studio in the UK. As you can see here in front of me, a huge pile of canvases. Getting ready and prepared for this winter sessions. Got a lot to do. I want to do about 20 or so for Art of Acrylics. Then I've got cafe scenes. I want to do a whole load of those I need to do as well. And well, maybe finishing up with about 40 paintings, I would think, over this winter period. And then of course there might be something else I want to do from this area. I'd like to paint on plein air, but I can't find anything very inspirational just around here. You can hear already the rain on the conservatory here, on my studio here, denoting the grey winter miserable weather over here. But we'll make the most of it, get some music on. Now this year I'm not going to show you every painting. I can't, I don't think it's viable or worth your while, or worth my while either, to film every one that I do for you, because most of them are going to be very similar, a bit of a conveyor belt in a way. I've got a lot of commercial work to turn out, although I'm going to, obviously I like to push every one in its own way. But what I will do, I'll show you every single one. Later on I'll make a slideshow of all of the paintings that I do in that series, and I'll show them on Facebook as well as usual. But I'll show you some of the more major ones. I'm going to start with the smaller one here and demonstrate the ways of working from the mid-tones through to darks, through to lights, to show you how we can build up these colours one over another with acrylics. I'm going to show you a very large one I'm going to do shortly, one of the few large ones I'm going to do this year, of a restaurant scene, but almost a David Hockney style with much stronger, bolder shapes, more abstract shapes. And we'll just see where we go from there. But no, I shan't be showing everything this year, just the occasional piece that takes my fancy. Or if any of you make a request, you'd like to see another pastel, another watercolour, whatever, I don't know, maybe I'll do that for you. So for the moment, off we go again then, back in England for the winter, from now until, we're now in, just coming up to in October, and I should be here through until April. So there's a fair amount of time to produce some more work before going back there, and hopefully enjoying painting on plein air back in France again, all the wonderful colours there. You might get a chance to paint away here. I'm going away to North Yorkshire shortly, but I think the weather's going to be a bit dour for that. We shall see. Well, I've got to set my palette out again. This is the one from about 5 months ago, which now has eventually dried out and gone solid. All I should have to do is peel it all out. It should come out of here. Scrape it all out and put new kitchen towel in here, kitchen paper, and wet it again and put my paints on again. You see, just peel it out like this. And I can start all over again. Let it keep wet for months, as long as I keep the paper wet. Over here I've got my filberts and flats, new sponge rollers and sponge, a larger wash brush and so on. Painting knives if I need them, 2 palette knives there, painting knives. Mixing tray over here, I'll have a jar of water shortly. So let's get that done next. Set this up. But here we are, there's a lovely palette full of colours ready for the new winter. Keep those topped up, and everything we need there. So now it's on to the picture I'm going to do. I'm going to start with the small one on this square and work from the medium tones here right to the darks, and then finish up with the lighter tones, finally the white at the end, to show you how we can just work those up one over another. Right, I've drawn this one out now, and as you can see there's a very tonal picture. Not too much colour, but it's going to be the jigsaw method again. There's no defined shapes in this, it's just an impression of those various shapes and colours making this illusion of this scene. So I've drawn them very loosely, and I'm going to just put the right colours in the right places, in the right shapes, relevant one to another, working from my medium tones down to my darkest, and then back upwards right through to the very lightest at the end, just putting in these shapes one to another. And I think you'll find it interesting how, just like a jigsaw, the picture appears as the pieces are put one to another. Now, quite differently to this then, I'm going to go on to drawing another one now to prepare for this series. So this is a smaller cafe scene. Now I'm going to do a much larger piece, which is much more like a Hockney, which is much more about the larger shapes of colour relevant one to another, and the more abstract and a more contemporary feel of it. Right, it's got this large composition worked out. It's going to be very colourful. You can see a bit Hockney-ish. And I've got the other canvas ready, so we'll put the small one back up again, make a start on that, loosen up, and then we'll be into this larger one afterwards. Well, I guess it's time to make a start on this painting now then. And so we're going to start with the darker mid-tones and work our way right down to the blacks or the darks, and then work back outwards, lighter and lighter and lighter. And it's very tonal painting, there's not a lot of colour in it, but I want to treat it very loosely and do this method, the jigsaw method of painting the right colours, right shapes, right places relevant one to another. In which case all of these abstract shapes should eventually give an image of a waitress here and these people at the cafe. That's what we can do. I'll get off the paint so this helps. And I'm going to choose a filbert for this job. Let's have a look now. I think something about this sort of size should do, about a ½ inch. Get it wet first. Just dampen it down a fraction. There we go, we're ready to go. Now, which colours first? We've got some lovely various greys of mauve greys, green greys, brown greys in here. Grey, usually make that from brown and blue and white. But of course, a grey can have any tint in it, can't it? It's not just black and white anyway, it's colours. So let's look at back here. I'm going to start with a bit of white on my brush just to keep a good body colour into it. Touch of blue in this case. And a wee bit of brown, as I was just saying, a bit of burnt sienna. And straight away I can get some of these green greys in. Look here, that's that one. This is a brown green grey, isn't it? Where's that going to be? Where else is it? Down here. So wherever these colours are, a bit darker, take a bit more blue, a bit more brown into it, a bit of Prussian blue now into it. So that's slightly darker. That's almost there. More Prussian blue in there, a bit more brown, but darker still. Make sure you lose any of the white texturing of the canvas. Don't ever leave that horrible bit of nasty white canvas stuff showing there. Because here, wherever the colour is, if it's on your brush, use it. So wherever the colour is, I'm just going to quickly show you how this works. So if it's on your brush, use it, but wherever it is, use up the colours on your brush. And light against dark as well. So here at the front, we've got a grey just happening here, which is going to help bring out our shape later. That grey comes right around the table here, down there, very roughly, very crudely at first. You can see it might seem a bit crude at first, but we'll see how it works as we go along. So these colours will change slightly as I go on. Just building up these various blues and blue greys at the minute. You see these different coloured greys, we've got to work them in to the right shapes, even approximately at this time, even if not perfectly, just to find all the drawing. We'll pick these shapes out in more clarity in a moment. What let's do at the moment is just get a base coat on. Let's do that for this white as well. A bit darker still. I'm going to have my Prussian blue, wee touch of purple into it, a bit of brown. Start to look at these really dark shapes. You can just see, hopefully you can just see the figure starting to appear now as I put these darks in. And we pick out, change back to my lighter greys, and I'm going to start gradually working out lighter now onto blue greys again, working up some of these lighter colours. Got a bit more yellow ochre and brown to go in places, so I'm going to just warm this up a little bit with some of this warmer colour that needs to go into here, this gold. And so I'm just indicating things, right colours, right places, right shapes approximately, and this painting will just start to appear ghostily. Now, this is where the fun comes. We start with the really much lighter colours. A little bit of light magenta, a little bit of white, cream. Start to see how we can warm up these highlights and It's an illusion of vases and pottery and glasses and so on here, other accoutrements. Look at the warmer colours. Not to overdo these flush tones. I'm showing you a little bit more than I intended to do, but hopefully it's useful to you. And gradually go lighter and lighter. And suddenly the whole thing starts to make sense. These shapes pull together. Of course, if we've got a colour there and it starts to be somewhere else, we've got to go back in and make sure that that's corrected. Now, you know, how far do we go with a painting like this? It's lovely and loose. Do I need to pick out any more colours? Really? I could just leave it like that. Little marks of colour, this can make such a difference, so we've got to be careful that we do make sure we see everything and don't leave some very important colours or marks out. Maybe it's not detailed enough for you. You check your own choices, but this way of painting, you've got the opportunity to do as you want. You are the boss. So I'm going to stop there. To give you an idea, I may do a bit more. I may just leave it as it is, because it is quite fun. But you can see a figure in the background here. You can see these faces coming through here. How much more do we really need? It's given the impression of what we were after. Okay, I'm going to go down to a smaller brush. Not working with a quarter inch fill, but just want to tidy up on some of these. I want to keep that looseness, but I'm also just going to come back in and just work into these. Details a little bit. To play one colour against another here. These warm darks now, almost black. Got a little bit of black in the paint now to really bring these colours out a bit. Obviously some abstract shapes that we want to pick out, which is all they are. I mean, if you think about it, a painting like this is just abstract shapes anyway. How we can make something appear, some illusion of something just with small brush strokes. Just keep working on it till you're happy that you've done enough. Don't finish too quickly. Just get something near it. Just don't overdo it either, but just make sure you get it right. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think we need to do any more on that. It's showing well enough. Let's call that one a day. Or I might call it a painting. I might call it a cafe. But it needs some sort of a signature before we go on to the next big one. Now, what signature should we put on there? Put something quite lively and bright down there. I don't think it wants it very dark. There we go. There's a bit of varnish that next. Right, now it's time to have a go at this big one. And use slightly different techniques again. I want to start off with the yellow because that needs to be nice and bright on here. I'm going to use the roller quite a bit on this particular painting. And then a nice big brush to pick up the paint and mix it first with. And it's a light cream. It's both cool and warm cream, so I'm going to use some lemon yellow at first to be the cooler. You can just see the drawing underneath for the moment because it's still, the yellow is always a bit thin anyway, a bit weak, but this especially will be. We'll roll it through the brush and the paint to get it on. I'm going to go slightly over the edges. We're going to come back in with the paint over the top of these. Right, now we've got to go slightly warmer, so I'm going to take a little bit of cadmium yellow, mix it in with the same. Also I've got similar colours on the go. This orange over here, let's take some deep cadmium yellow. much deeper. A little touch of cadmium orange into it. Put that into my roller. And we'll give this a coat of that. And again, while it's on the roller, if we see it elsewhere, and we keep doing that until we've worked up all our colours. So now it's a deep orange pink. Now I think we're going to have to go towards our magentas now with the orange. And when we've got the colour on there, if you see it anywhere else, now's the time to put it in. So a bit of red over here. I'm just going to put some of that in there. So this gives me a slightly soft edge, which I might need to go a bit sharper. I might need to use my masking tape yet to lovely bright cheerful colours, eh? And again, a little bit more. Underneath here now, much deeper, richer colour, almost coming into a brown. So I'm going to come away from my lighter colour now and add orange to some magenta and see if we can get anything like I'm after there. Nice big amount of it. There we go. See what we can do with that. See if this gives us the deep rich darks we want. Yes, there we go. I'm tempted to use masking tape here because I wanted a sharp edge, but equally it's quite a nice finish. And then some yellow ochre as well in just a moment. We've got this well covered. I don't want any canvas showing at all. I don't want canvas texture unless I'm more brighter red orange. I'm going to have to clean my palette and brush now, so I'm going to put stronger lighter colours on. I want to look at these lovely cadmium reds that are coming up through here, and that red will make the other scene much cooler. So we're playing again light against dark, warm against cool, rough against smooth, and here we've got the warm against the cool, the much warmer red coming into here to make a difference against these cooler reds. Right, let's start on these green colours down here. Need that next. That's why I've had to clean my palette. And that's a sort of mixture of turquoise and green. New colour for the roller. It'll be a little bit thin because we've just washed the roller, so it's almost certainly going to be a bit thin. Oh cat, how can I put my stuff there if you're there? Will the cat decide to come and join me? Giddy 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 giddy. You're a good pussy cat, aren't you? Yes. Have a stretch. Let's get on with our painting. Surprising how much we can use the edge of the roller to get a bit more fineness to the edges. Right, now then, back to other colours that need to go in with that. I'll take some very light, cool magenta, almost a light purple, violet. Now that sort of grey colour is coming in quite a lot of places actually, so I'm going to take some more of it. A little touch of blue with that. I need to get to the edges of this as well. So I'm going to mix some of these deep reflective colours down in the umbrella now. Tidy up these edges in a minute. Just get the basics sorted. It's a very useful colour this, and it's going to be coming in quite a bit, I can see. The light colours in the end. So what I'm doing at the moment is all of my mid-tones and dark tones, putting some sap green and a bit of emerald at the moment, mixing it with purple of all things, giving me a lovely deep rich shadow underneath these reds, because it's the opposite in the colour circle, so we'll deliberately play these deep greens against it. The moment what I want to do is lose this white, just work out where basic tones are so that I can come back in afterwards and start putting lights against darks. And after this I have to really start working out who goes where and how these shadows will be. Right, let's see if we can do something about this sky. And the blue is a cross between cerulean and a little touch of magenta. I have to come back in with the brush after this one, I'm sure I will, but blue comes across some of this green now that we've got it in. See where it goes. While it's on the roller, we'll use it. I haven't finished the other part of the sky yet, but it doesn't matter, I can still work on this bit. Right, carry on. The same mix. Once I've done this, I've possibly done enough to go onto the brushes only. And there we go. I've got the base coats on. Now it's just time to let it dry and consider when I get back again from my sister's wedding. Right, I've put masking tape up here now, as you can see, to get these very sharp flat edges I wanted. So now I just want to mix up some heavier paint with this cream and so on with the heavy body, just to give a much sharper edge. So it's a lovely thick layer that I peel away the tape. We have a lovely thick layer of paint hard against this shape. I may just soften it slightly with a brush in places, we'll see. They should dry fairly quickly in here, so we should be able to take these away. See what we've got. I'll have to touch up the edges of it. I can see it's dribbled a bit tighter with the masking tape. I can just touch it up with a brush. That's a nice sharp edge, that's good. Right, same again now. Light cream and light blue. Let's touch up the pink. Just put some touching up to do to tidy up all the way around each time. So to tidy up in the reverse and take some burnt sienna and glittering crimson. Put a wee touch of purple into that, just make it a bit darker. And we'll just deepen up on this edge here. And let's go back to some of these brighter, it's a bright orangey red that were there. It sunk a bit, so I want to go back in and just bring those out again. So, that's almost too sharp edges. Seems pretty strange, doesn't it? Having texture and then suddenly these very sharp edges. It's rather fun. Make that orangey pink again, which I made before. Interesting to explore different techniques and ways that other artists worked as well. And again, we'll take off the tape and see where we've got to. Because from now on, apart from any taping to do, it's the brushwork. There we go, much straighter. Right, we'll leave that at that. And go to our next stages later. Need to remove any pencil marks now, like this, or any details that aren't sharp enough. I just want to glaze it very lightly, bringing up these tones, just a little bit of water over the top to blend it together. Right, now that's starting to make a bit more sense, isn't it? another quite large work done now then, just for fun, using the masking tape and the rollers and brushes. Hope you like it. It's a different one. It's interesting to play these looser brush marks, or feathery brush marks, against that flat, the flat areas. Whether it works or not, whether you like it, it's all personal choice. You might not. But onwards we go. Probably now a landscape, I think.